morning students, welcome to the next part of the tissue. In the previous video we have studied about what is tissue and the different types of plant tissue. Now today we are going to study about animal tissue. So before we go to animal tissue, let's have a recap. So what is a tissue? Tissue is a group of cells performing similar function and it has been divided into two parts, that is your plant tissues and animal tissues. So all the types of tissues that are present in the world has been divided into two parts. The tissues present in plant called plant tissues and the tissues present in animal called the animal tissue. In the last video we have studied all types of plant tissue, that is your meristematic and permanent tissue and the types of the permanent tissue. Today we are going to study the details about the animal tissue. So before we go to the details of animal tissue, let us see how many types of animal tissues are there and their further division. So the tissues present in animal cell. The tissues present in animal cell has been divided into four parts, that is your epithelial tissue, the tissues responsible for protection, muscular tissue, the tissues responsible for movement and locomotion, nervous tissue, tissues responsible for conduction of impulse, and your connective tissue. And your connective tissue, which connects the entire body, one part of the body to another. So these are the major types in which the animal tissues have been classified. Now in this video we are going to study about epithelial tissues. Now what is an epithelial tissue? Epithelial tissue is a continuous sheath of cells joined end to end in such a manner that there is no intercellular space. If I talk about the shape, they may be flat, they may be cuboidal, columnar, polygonal or irregular in shape. It depends on where they are present and what function they perform. So based on the shape and the function they perform, epithelial tissue has been categorized as So I'll divide the epithelial tissue according to the shape and according to the function. So according to the shape, I have squamous epithelium, cuboidal epithelium, columnar epithelium, and stratified epithelium. And based on function, I have ciliated epithelium, glandular epithelium, sensory epithelium, germinal epithelium, and pigmented epithelium. So these are the types of your epithelial tissue based on function. So before we go to other aspects, let us see each type based on shape. How do they look like? And then later on we'll go to the functions they perform. So first one, according to shape, the first type of epithelial tissue is squamous epithelial tissue. Now what are squamous epithelial tissue? They are flat cells with centrally placed nucleus. Nucleus is present in the center. Squamous epithelium. Squamous epithelium are flat cells with centrally placed nucleus. They are present in the linings of heart, blood vessels, lymphatic system, air sacs of lungs, as well as the Bowman's capsule of kidney. Coming to cuboidal cells, as the name suggests, they are cubed shaped, square box like structures. So you will see you can see a membrane below the cells. What are these? These are basement membranes. What are these? These are basement membranes to which all the cells are attached. The cells, all the epithelial cells are attached to this basal membrane. Because blood vessel is absent in this epithelial tissue, all the types of epithelial tissues are devoid of blood vessels. So they need nourishment. So they get nourishment from the basement membrane. So this will look like a cuboidal cells present with the centrally placed nucleus. They are present in the linings of your sweat gland, linings of your tear gland, linings of your salivary gland, linings of your kidney tubules, and it also covers the outer membrane of your ovary. It is this cuboidal cells from which the ova is produced. So that we will study under function. So cuboidal cells are present in the kidney tubules, in the linings of the kidney tubules, outer boundary of the ovary, the salivary glands and the tear gland. Coming to the next type, columnar cells. Let us write the name. This is your cuboidal epithelium. Now coming to columnar epithelium. These are elongated cells. They are long pillar-like or column-like cells with the nucleus at the base. They are also attached to the basal membrane, basement membrane, and the nucleus is present at the base. The nucleus is present at the base. Now since they are elongated cells, they are present in the intestinal tract, the gastrointestinal tract, that is your stomach and intestine. Coming to stratified epithelial cells. Now what are stratified epithelial cells? They are stack of cells. Stack of epithelial cells only. All the cells are epithelial. But they can be either of the same type, like all squamous together, or columnar together, or cuboidal together, or they may be of different type. Means one layer of squamous, one layer of cuboidal, one layer of columnar cells, and in this way they form the stack and a thick layer is formed, and this type of tissues, this stratified epithelial tissue is present in your epidermis of the skin. They are present in the epidermis of skin. Even in cornea it is present. So they are thick layers made up of number of layers of epithelial tissues. Coming to division of epithelial tissue based on function. the most of the cells, most of the types that you see belong to the columnar type. Columnar cells have modified themselves according to the functions required and they perform following functions. So let's begin with ciliated. Ciliated are also elongated cells like made up of columnar cells, and they have again nucleus at the base. They have nucleus at the base and an additional hair-like growth at its rear end. This hair-like growth is known as outgrowth is known as cilia. What is this? They are cilia. Cilia is nothing, fine hair-like structure which continuously beats. It continuously beats and allowing the movement of substances. So wherever any additional substance that has to pass through the cavity, all those cavity will be lined by ciliated epithelium. So can you guess where the substances has to pass through? One, through your trachea, the windpipe. If any dust, if any mucus is present in the trachea or the windpipe, it passes through with the help of cilia. Then coming to oviduct, where the ovum has to pass through. So there also the linings of the oviduct is also lined by ciliated epithelial cells. So they are present in oviduct, they are present in the windpipe, that is your trachea, so that the substances can pass through it easily. Next is your glandular cells. Glandular epithelial cells are nothing but columnar cells which has modified itself, it has folded itself into glands. So you will have glandular epithelium appearing in this manner. So these are glandular cells. These are your glandular cells. Again, nucleus at the base. So these are your glandular cells which has folded itself to have the shape of the gland, and the function of this glandular cell is to secrete enzyme, tears, sweat, to keep the area moist and clean, or help in digestion process, help in absorption process. So these are your glandular cells which helps in secretions of certain chemicals and carrying out that particular function. Then coming to sensory epithelium. Sensory epithelium are again modified epithelial cells having nerve endings at the end. They have nerve endings at the end and they are able to perceive the stimulus. So they are present in the sense organs. They are present in the sense organs like your nose. The lining of the nose is made up of sensory epithelial cells so that you can sense the smell. Then coming to germinal epithelium. Germinal epithelium lines the gonads so that the ova and the sperms can be produced. So in males, germinal epithelium lines the seminiferous tubule which helps in the production of spermatozoa, and in females it lines the ovary which help in the production of ovum. So germinal epithelium helps in the formation of gametes. And the last is your pigmented. Pigmented epithelium are present in your retinal region, in the retina, where there are visual pigments present. So what happens? They provide nourishment to those cells and help in perceiving the light. This is all about your epithelial tissues in animal cell. In the next video, we will study about muscular, nervous and connective tissues. Thank you.